Motorboat? You play the motorboat? You motorboating son of a bitch, you old sailor, you.
Following program contains language and subject matter that you may consider unsuitable for children. Parental discretion is advised.
I'm going to pass the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
I think Jackal's Rubino, I'm not sure, but he'll give it to you good.
The Jackal.
The guest of the evening is here. I got him on camera. Mr. Japhy Ryder is on with me. He is the man in charge of the World Pirate Radio Network. And I join him on his show very often. And we do a lot of commentating on news, politics, and a lot of strange phenomenon with a colorful group of individuals that he has on, besides myself, and an occasional actual important guest. Because I don't consider me or some of the casuals to be as important as some of the people he's had on that are authors and people that are really, really in the loop of a lot of the things. But Japhy has a great show, and we've supported him for years. I know I have by showing up to his show many times. But this is the first time I actually visually see the man, which is amazing. After knowing him for so long. So without any further delay, Japhy, thank you, my friend, for being on the show with me and attending this very special broadcast of Inside the Jackal's Head. How are you doing this evening, day? I mean, you're in the future. You're in Korea.
That's right. Yeah. Pretty slow news day, huh?
I was gonna sleep in. It was Sunday. I was like, there's not going to be anything to do tomorrow. I woke up Saturday and I was like, it's going to be a gentle day. And then my phone starts blowing up and then I'm like, what's happening? He goes, Trump is going to speak at a rally. You got to watch. It's going to be great. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll watch it because, it's my president. I want to, I like, watch the rally. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, do you see this face? As soon as that stuff started happening, Japhy, it became a completely different moment in time, and it went from being just an average Saturday to a historical day in American history, and we nearly had something happen in this country which we haven't seen since the Kennedy assassination and the Reagan attempted assassination. We haven't seen this kind of hatred of a man who is simply running for office, trying to make America great again. And this blows my mind how unhinged and deranged some of these people are. And I talked about this on social media. I was elated when he survived the whole thing because it just shows the tenacity and the will of whatever God is to make sure that this man makes it to November. Now, in Korea, how did you take the news, and how did the rest of the folks over there take the news?
I was multitasking online, actually, when I first came across reports of what had just occurred. So it was within just a short time after it happening that I found myself on Yahoo, and which I don't often do. I was actually multitasking, and I immediately popped over to, I guess it was YouTube, basically, and just tried to follow up on things from there. But as far as Korea, I was immediately shocked, of course, and horrified. I was thinking the worst right off the bat, like praying. I'm kind of, I like to pride myself as objective and, like yourself, independent, with no real dog in the fight. After all, longtime Canadian expat living in Korea, outside, detached, objective observer. But Yeah, it was shocking, and really, it could have been a lot worse than what it was. And as you say, only by the grace of God, what Buddhists would refer to as karma, that it was not quite his time. So it had me thinking about the butterfly. You asked me about the reaction in Korea. Well, are you familiar with the butterfly in Beijing theory?
No, I thought you were going with the butterfly effect, but
That's what
that's
we're
it.
kind of talking about there. That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I mean, on a different timeline, he would not be here.
Right.
It would be JFK all over again.
Remember in the Simpsons cartoon when they had him in the casket?
That was fake.
No, I know, but it's still. I mean, that's been around for a while.
Yeah, but you know what? That was fake, right? That was fan made.
No, I know, but just think about that optic, though.
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
sure. Yeah, as far as the predictive programming, absolutely, heavily, yeah, heavily. And the now as far as Korea here in particular, I talked to the wife, and I don't even want to get into it. She's such a potato sometimes. Just a, just it's like talking to the wall, and just out, really frustrating on that front. That's why I like to connect with people like you, Angel. You're my other big potato. And
Have the head for it, yes. I know.
male potato. Yeah, Mr. Male, Q potato head. So
Believe it, it's been called worse. Continue.
oh, okay. So it's in the Korean news, obviously, and it'll be interesting to see what my adult class, what their reaction is like when we connect with them tomorrow. But about another 24 hours from now, approximately. So and to see, I'll go in there and just ask if, as I typically do, anything in the news this week. What's happening. Que pasa? So it should be and there, we do have one student who suffers from major TDS. Not to the extent that TDS Tom may, and others like him, unfortunately.
It's funny. The shooter's name was Thomas. Tom.
Who? Oh, was it? That's really. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, they were out to get him, and they'll persist. By Biden, the DNC, maybe even RNC insiders like Nikki Haley. The convention is just 2 days away. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's kicking off here quite shortly. Cui bono, Angel. Come on, let's put our thinking caps on now. Cui bono. So to think that fellow party insiders of from the Republicans.
The rhinos, my friend.
Oh my God! Do you know this? And to the head of U.S. Secret Security. Do you know who this is? Are you aware of this individual?
Which one? They change so often.
Okay. Just in the last, she's been around for the last couple of years. She's not quite a cheater, as she's a cheatee, or I think cheatle. Which
is it? The blonde, chubby one.
You can just take a look. I sent you a link there in Skype.
Okay.
Look her up. But so here's the thing. She served, as they always do. They just with the people in government, they can do no wrong. Just serving with such honor and distinction, whether it's the U.S., Canada, Korea, China. You name it. It's just honorable position in government and bureaucracy. It's, super bureaucrat, very good. And it was under Cheney. She was very tight with Cheney. And speaking of rhinos, that's what got me thinking just of this, making the connection. So she really tight and chummy with Cheney. Presumably his daughter as well, who she's probably known for some time. And but Biden appointed her to head of America's Secret Service. she's got to go. She's got to go. It's as simple as that. But it's not going to happen under Biden's watch.
No, of course not. No.
We see how the wheels of bureaucracy and the government. It's just such a dog and pony show, obviously, and just a real farce and bloody charade.
What gets me about the J6 committee is like how they keep portraying this as it's a bipartisan committee. We have Republicans on there. Yeah, who? Liz Cheney.
Oh yeah, right. Do you know that?
How bipartisan?
Right. And speaking of which, interesting you mentioned J6 within the context of Secret Service. Do you know what happened to all of their the communications that they shared on that day? Where it's all gone?
Oh, I mean, everything went through Nancy Pelosi and Mayor.
Where is that data at present? The thousands of text messages and communication exchanges that Secret Service engaged in on that day. I mean, I haven't looked at this that deeply. What I heard though, just this morning, as I was doing a little bit more of just a curious sort of browsing, is poking around and engaged citizenship here, folks. That it just like as with the Epstein underage sex trafficking, audio and visual, the digital, all of that content and data evidence, it's gone. Nobody seems to be able to account. It's kind of moved from one place to the next. They have this happens all the time, and that was their response. And it's a info relocation or some Orwellian, sort of term and catchphrase.
It's ironic, isn't it? How they have so much on so many people, and somehow they can't make sure that this stuff doesn't get erased or moved or just disappears. All this and of course, not only are we talking about Epstein, but all the stuff on Biden's laptop, which we now know is real, Hunter Biden's laptop.
Why Russian disinformation? Come on, Angel.
Yeah. Why hasn't more of that stuff been brought to light? And the Epstein list. If we can't find the list, isn't Maxwell in prison? Ghislaine Maxwell. She knows names, right?
She ain't talking.
Well, somebody has to make her talk. So
I think
the ball here.
She probably knows what's good for her at this stage, having seen what happened, presumably happened. Although I'm not even convinced of that, as far as and the reason why I'm leaning more towards the fact that Epstein, because these people, they have the ability, he could easily buy his way out of jail. And the fact is also, did anyone else out there listening within your audience, did they see the video that is actually, it was a drone footage of someone who was said to have been him over Orgy Island, looking down as he was peering up, sitting just he was basically in the driver's seat, I guess, with his head out, talking to one of his groundskeepers and security. They still have security on those
on Pedo Island.
Apparently, it's employed around the clock. So, and we found the same thing happen here, as far as there was a Saywall, which does that name mean anything to you? The Saywall incident?
No.
The Saywall ferry incident, which was the equivalent of Korea's Titanic.
Wow.
About 10 years ago, doesn't still nothing coming
No,
to you.
no,
All
no.
those school kids lost their
I'm in America.
lives.
I'm a Cuban in America. Remember,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
hey, but you're on our show
Korean
enough,
accidents.
Angel. Come on, man.
Yeah, but Korean accidents 10 years ago. You know, this is a big hit, but
It
it's
was a
only so much
major
information.
deal. It was a just type it in right now while we're shooting the shit here. Just say, well, SEWOL
Hold on,
incident.
you
Say,
gotta let me
well,
put my glasses back on here so I can type.
this ferry, this transport passenger ferry. Now, how and why it sank exactly, a bit of a mystery. So, no one's quite sure. There have been a number of, conspiracy theories, as it were, that have been raised surrounding that whole occurrence.
It
So,
says here it happened on April 16, 2014.
yeah,
Yeah, the MV Seawall capsized and sinking as taken by the Korea Coast Guard.
So, anyways, the owner of the company was a billionaire.
I'm looking at the picture of it. Yeah, that's it flipped right over. Look at that.
You do it. Yeah, do whatever you like there. Obviously, you're the boss. So, but this he was a billionaire who there's quite a story to how he was national-wide manhunt, and in the end, all they were able to come up with, because they said they found him in a field where his body was so decomposed that they were only able to obtain a small amount of DNA, right, just from one little fingertip, and ran with that. That was the deal. All too often, and when this happens, you know that something is not quite right. So it'll be interesting to see how many times the story changes regarding this latest incident. This attempted killing of Trump out of Pennsylvania as well. So do pay attention, folks. But no, the point is, these billionaires, they have the finances, they have the resources to buy people off, and to win their way to freedom, plastic surgery, whatever it takes. Ticket out of the country, not a problem. So the story on that, with that whole incident, it changed numerous times, where the guy was not even the whatever they found is so badly, once again, decomposed, just a lot of rotten bones and flesh, with a couple bottles of soju. It's kind of like Korea's version of what Orwell wrote about in his 1984 book, Victory Gin was what it was called. Trust me on this one. People out there, some of your listeners will know about Victory Gin. It's like the revolution.
I'll take your word for it.
Cuba's probably got its own version too. The diehard, Castro fanatics and their Victory Gin.
There's very little of those left. Now they're more like just a bunch of pussies in Cuba. They're scared. They don't want to take the chances of being killed. So they just stay stuck. And I'm Cuban.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well, you're American now. You're. Well, I guess a Cuban. What would you be, an expat?
I guess you could say that, because I was born in Cuba in '77, got to America in '80. I've never left this country other than traveling, into the islands and across the plains of the United States. I've never been to Canada, your neck of the old woods. I've always wanted to visit Korea and other Asian countries, because I do have a little Chinese in me.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's from great grandfather, who was from China, and China. So when people hear me on the show talk about China, I'm not saying it because I hate the Chinese. Far from it. I love the culture. I'm into martial arts.
Yeah, of course.
I love the people. It's the government.
There you go.
Communists, the CCP. They killed the Falun Gong. They've killed the Uyghur Muslims. They killed their own people.
Don't forget about the Tibetans.
the Tibetans also. Do you think they care? They care about Western America or about anybody else? They don't even care about their own people.
There's
This
well, but
communist regime.
yeah, and they're doing pretty well in the land grab department as well now across the U.S. and Canada. Interestingly, so
Right.
I mean, hey, who could have seen that coming, huh? But you know, I'll tell you what. I'll just as an I'll Clausewitz, the famous war strategist, the way that he put it essentially is that uh, warfare is politics through other means.
Yep.
Politics through other means. Pretty bloody and brutal.
Hmm.
Generally, obviously, a lot of people dying, losing their lives, and really,
Casualties of war. That's the term they use.
yeah,
Casualties of war.
sure,
You know,
friendly fire
one thing I
casualties.
learned, Jaffe, from especially our conflict during the Bush administration that led to invading the Middle East, as those fake wars got started. One term that I kept hearing over and over on TV, CNN and the news over the years, was the talk of insurgents.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
insurgents in these people in these countries that are insurgents. Do you know what an insurgent is?
I've yet to check the dictionary
Okay,
definition on that one.
an
Yeah.
insurgent is a citizen of their country defending their land.
Oh, like a patriot.
Right. So the insurgents, we're calling them insurgents because they're defending their land while we're invading a country that didn't even attack us.
In what context? What example? Like
Iraq,
Vietnam? Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah, and that's really worked out
So-called
well too.
insurgents.
For just imagine how the old U.S. The Vietnam vets feel after all these years, having been sent overseas to fight the spread of communism throughout Southeast Asia and the wider world. That's really worked out quite well. That policy, not just one heart. Referencing as we did just uh, a few moments ago, this business of the land grabs, obviously. But I think who's really to say what the hell's happening on that front? But I mean, you did cover the whole Trump thing rather extensively. I was listening to the last hour of your show, so I don't know if you want to get into that more, or you have any other questions that you
Well,
like to
I
bounce off me
mean,
as the time we got here.
yeah, we talked already a little bit about it, and of course, like you said, I did the first hour talking about it, and my views are already out there. People are, they're clear on who I'm voting for. It doesn't
Heads have
matter what
got to
the party.
roll. I mean,
But
as far as
yep,
I'm circumcised, heads have got to roll,
I agree. Cut the
and
foreskin.
not
Be
Trump's.
focused.
They had their
No, no.
chance. They had their chance. Now,
No,
why that building, that one that was a major. I mean, I'm no expert in the field, but even a dummy like me can see that. Yeah, as the experts have been saying, what the hell is going on with the perimeter? Why that building? Where and this guy,
exactly.
they were drawing. This people in the audience, spectators, attendees were trying to draw law enforcement, not secret security so much. If it was me, I would have been waving like that. Although they probably would have shot me, of course. Yeah.
Mhm.
As was the case, like waving like this, like, look, what the fuck? They were trying to do that. I think they were
Right.
clearly trying. I don't know if they're waving like this. Hey man, they were yelling though
But a
at
lot of people in the crowd
minutes.
making all that noise, I understand where it's hard for people to hear it, but you're absolutely right. Secret Service and the sharpshooters,
Oh,
should have been more aware of what was going on.
bro. No, yeah, he was right in the line of fire too. That the
Correct. Yeah.
anti-sniper team's main, I guess, was there only one that was set up there, and there should have been another one on the roof of the building where this kid was, bear walking or crab walking, however it was, with
Hmm.
his rifle. But they were pointed pretty much directly at where he was. They had their the sniper rifle positioned, and why they did not take him out sooner is they've come up with all kinds of excuses to this point, saying that
I wonder
there was
if that
trees
area.
maybe kind of in the way. Like I didn't really see any trees, but it was too
No.
hot. It was too hot. They needed to go get some water. You know.
My question is, though, Jackie, is that area potentially a open carry area? Because if that's the case, that might not ring alarms. He's 300 yards away, apparently they said. But still, when you're climbing up that structure,
multiple
with
buildings, he was going on from one building to the next.
Right. At that point, forget open carry. If they're looking and they don't see that, that is a complete, fundamental mistake by whoever's in charge there.
And do you know the reaction on the police on the ground? And this is reminiscent, echoes of what took place in Dallas in '63. The law enforcement were just kind of like, there are people, spectators, trying to draw their attention to what was taking place, and the law enforcement were like, it's really just as if they could care less. So in that sense, I'd like to know who those people were. If it was me, if I had the authority and the ability to, it's like, who the hell were these? Who was there on the ground? And why, as far as the local constabulary, I don't know if they're referred to as such in the States. In Canada, it's the constabulary. Maybe in Britain as well, might be like a British UK kind of term. So, but
what would be the American term for that?
But my God, pigs. I mean, it gets pretty. That's in a not overly. That's a kind of a blunt, kind of disfavorable way of But what the boys in blue, I guess, right? The boys in blue, all the way from there to the pigs. It's like everything in between. So and they can you got good cops, you got bad cops. The problem I have personally, philosophically, I know we're kind of a bit of a non sequitur here, but what the hell? We're just kind of freestyling the way that you like to handle your whole rap game, I guess, as it were. But you do a good job as well too. So but that, I mean, it's one thing to be going after and neutralizing the bad guys, as it were, people that few people really dispute are the bad guys, causing all kinds of problems in society, obviously. When they are neutralized and taken out of the picture, out of commission, that not too many people, I mean, more people are supportive and applaud than criticize. I'm just talking like straight across the board now, but there's a lot of laws as well too that and when they enforce, because that's their job, is an enforcement. A lot of lousy, terrible laws there that just, it's like too much in the way of state overreach and intrusive in nature, unfortunately. And because of that, you wonder why. You've got people that are a little more cynical and jaded when it comes to the kind of what is it? Ambiguous, I think that's the term, ambiguous role that the police actually play, because they do sometimes they're out there doing good work, doing the right thing for the right reasons, and then other times it's like, what the fuck do we even have these laws for? Like people smoking weed, for example,
right?
Well, where's the crime? Like, really, where's the harm? This is, I mean, whose body? My body, my choice.
It's funny that in a lot of those same people that make the abortion, my body, my choice claim, a lot of those are anti-weed, and I'm like, wait,
oh, really?
Your body, your choice? Yeah, there's a lot of that. Don't
They're
like
pro-kill, and they want to force the kill shots at everyone too, right?
Right. So. And what I love is when they go on record now saying we're not supporting late-term abortions. That's a lie. actually, I've seen bills being trying to get through Congress by leftists in Congress supporting 8 and 9 months abortion. That for
California.
it's more. That's murder.
Do you know about
That's
California? I mean, in California, I don't know if this passed or not. I think it may have. It's that obscene and disgusting.
yeah.
But
That's what I'm referring to was one in
well, but
California.
this is, bro. This is like children who, like, they've been born, and you
Yeah.
can like murder your children after. I don't know how. I forget exactly, but it was like a couple months. It was insane. It's like if your child is a couple months old and you don't really like it or want it anymore, don't
Yeah.
worry. You can do this in a humane, well, just you could just bring your child to us. We have what is it? The Planned Parenthood. In fact, what we have more experimental kill shots to make. Pfizer's it's a growing business and industry, right? So Pfizer, we need these fetal cells to use
Exactly.
as part of our product here. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to be not exactly funny so much as, I guess, probably facetious more than anything.
No, well, you're not that far off because look, a lot of these ideas that are being ran through in these bills, Jeffy, are people that are trying to do institutional work behind the scenes for these organizations like Pfizer, these companies, and are giving them the product that they need to do their work. And who gets to the results? The elitist, right?
Yeah.
The
Of
drink
time and again, yeah, it's systemic and
the
institutional. I get.
adrenochrome, rumor that a lot of people are, really, really clinging on to, which I'm starting to believe more and more is something that's really happening. When you see it across the spectrum of reality, you see how, why is it they target children? And it's not just for that. They use children for body parts, for sex trafficking, which is a major thing. Do you think all those girls in the cam, community, the cam world that we now have all over the internet, that everybody's like, because porn is the most searched thing on the internet. We all know that, and there's all these cam websites that are now out there. Do you think all these young girls are doing it willingly? What do you
No,
think it's happening?
probably not. It'd be interesting to know the percentage, and that's where you've probably heard the Tate brothers, and just to name one outfit, and but that I don't really spend much time investigating any of that, just
Yeah,
other than occasionally with the some
with the
kind of
wife.
casual conversation, as it were. But doing a deep dive in the porn industry. Yeah, that's what I like.
That's
So,
a
but
bunch of dirty animals there, by the way. Oh man, look. See, it's funny because
you're not talking
my last
bestiality now, are you? Come on. Oh,
no.
Jesus,
Well,
bro.
besides that, I am the
Animal. You
jackal.
said animals. I was worried about you.
But my last girlfriend, and this is a true story, and it's
She
very
was an
funny.
animal.
Yes, she was. We're all animals, Jeffy. I hate to break it to you. But she came over the first time that we hooked up, and she came over the house, and I was sleeping after we hooked up, right?
Yeah.
The after nap because I'm really tired of the hooking up part,
Uh huh.
because I'm a man and we get tired. And she decided to go on my computer and search my computer just like to see who I was, because she had never really been on my computer, and though
You
we
brought her home from the
dated
bar
for-
one night, or who is this person?
no, we have been dating for a week. I had met her at a office party.
Oh, okay.
She was an invite from a friend. I met her.
I
We started
see.
rapping, and I started dating her. This is a few, well, maybe a year and a half ago. Did an
So
office party for a friend of
no request to hop on your computer.
No.
Just took it
I was
upon herself.
invited to a friend's party. It was an office
Yeah,
party they had, and I
but
went
she
because
just jumped on your computer without even asking. Did she jump
Right.
on anything else you had to offer without asking, or
Oh, well, like I said, I was sleeping because we had
that's
Right. Just
Statutory
just
rape.
listen to this part. So she jumps on my computer and she tells me later that she did this, which I don't know why she self snitched, but she jumped on the computer and she's like searching, 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 right? And then when I wake up, I come out of the room and I'm like, "What's going on?" And she goes, "Oh, yeah, I jumped in your computer because I wanted to see if you had any weird stuff or porn. You have no porn on your computer. That's weird in itself."
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, "What the hell do I want porn on my computer?" Think about how stupid it is. You can find it anywhere on the internet if you want to like go down that route. It's not
Mhm.
like it's hard to find for free. Let's be honest. But why would I keep that crap on my computer? And she's like, all you have is like pictures of yourself, your family, and some friends, and a bunch of stuff on your radio show. And I'm like, that's pretty much my computer, yeah.
Uh-huh.
She nailed it. And people are shocked when I tell them, yeah, I got no porn on my computer. I've had
Yes.
family members
Just,
sit here and it's a clean computer. It's
just burn
you
it
know,
onto
this is whenever
DVD. You don't need it.
no,
Just
if
burn it.
anybody from the government ever wants to search me, come on down. You're not gonna find anything illegal.
Yeah. Well, they claim, and it wouldn't surprise me. I've heard stories of like anonymous, whoever anonymous really is, making threats that if that you don't kind of go their way or cooperate with how it is that they want you to act that in accordance with their will, that they threaten to plant porn on people's computers. So a couple quick things though. There's to see if I can remember now exactly. One was no, fuck it, no, you got me just too distracted. But
They're having a Biden moment. I understand, old man. Go ahead.
no. One will come back to me. At least one will come back to me. They're somewhat related. RFK Jr. 8 times
Hmm.
now, circling back. I for the longest time I couldn't use that expression. Was Jen Psaki
Circle back.
as the head
Yeah.
of was this White House spokesperson?
Oh God, Chucky
Just
herself.
it
Yeah.
just was a weird thing. I just could not. I've reclaimed that term though. I feel so empowered, having done that now. It's like, yeah, I can, because I mean, it's like old Joe there. What is that thing? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's like that sort of thing.
Thank
Like, stop it, dude. It's like you're ruining the English language. You're depriving us of what would otherwise be,
Slang.
well, and far much more. I don't know. Yeah, the way that we express ourselves, right? The
But
opportunity,
Jeff, remember, he used to hang
restrictions,
out with Corn Pop,
limitations.
or Corn Pop.
Huh?
He used to hang out with Corn Pop. That's where he learned these slangs. Come on,
I thought he
man.
was. I thought he was Corn Pop.
No, that was his buddy. This old black man. He used to hang out at the
Oh,
place
really? I
where he
did.
was a lifeguard.
Okay. I know about
Well,
and the little, was it the little black kids playing with? They
yes,
like to play
yes.
with his hair.
His
like-
blonde hairs, yes, and that's when he figured out what roaches were, little black kids.
Was that within the context of that, where he actually?
Yes, that was the
Oh,
context because they called racist called black kids back then roaches, running around.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's I got all that roach spray out there, I guess. And so taking care of business, yeah. Which reminds me, do you know what Melithian is?
No, what is
Melithian?
no?
Well, they're crazy about that here in Korea. I call them the lawnmower man. They drive around the neighborhood these motorcycles with these little kind of gas powered engines spraying gas, this toxic fog that they produce. And I haven't seen it recently, but quite often throughout the years in past, kids would be out behind these lawnmower men, no women so far, and just playing in the Melithian fog and haze, is sucking it all up. And Melithian, for a lot, and most Koreans have no idea what this is about. I talk to them. And as I said, like the adult students that I work with, most unfortunately very limited in their understanding because of so much of the world, really, for whatever reason. And you look at the world map here, just right behind me, you can see the peninsula.
Right.
That's tiny.
I got ET, but you got Korea, yeah.
If you look at Korea and South Korea in particular, of course, it is divided, the peninsula, right, via the DMZ.
Mhm.
That what is that, the 37th parallel? But it really is tiny. It's serves almost like a geopolitical linchpin within the region where we find ourselves located. I guess what those in the know refer to as Northeast Asia, basically, right? So I used to think it was Southeast Asia, but I guess it's more Northeast Asia. Yeah, Central East Asia. I was told Northeast Asia, but anyways,
It's somewhere in the Asian community.
it's East, yeah, East Asia. But it's great that my adult students do have the opportunity to travel. That's why we, practice English with them. Many are retired and have done well for themselves throughout the years in real estate and other lines of work, as it were, employment, careers, professions, what have you. And so they travel. They travel when they can, when they get the opportunity. But as far as Malithian itself is concerned, and just because this is something that you would think they would know about, along with the fact of chemtrails in the sky. Why do I have to draw this to these people's attention? Is it? I guess it's similar in the West to a certain extent, but I think it's even more here. The level of cognitive dissonance. The point I'm really trying to make is that with the peninsula being so small and such a dense population, that rats in a cage, as I once had it explained to me, courtesy of a Freemasonic police officer, upstanding RCMP member back in Canada. I was out on a ride along doing local, community newspaper coverage. Had never worked in the live streaming area or on air, broadcasting, as it were, until we kicked things off a number of years ago. We're getting towards 10 years now. This is our 9th year with Pirate Radio Podcast and the wider WPRPN World Pirate Radio Podcast Network, the People's Pirate Network project. But yeah, mostly, community, university, newspapers, and print, a little in the way of magazines and feature
So that's
writing.
what led you into the podcasting, was when you started with the newspaper?
No, not
Okay.
really. Not really. I took a bit of a break, as it were, as far as
Okay.
service. I ended up here in South Korea. I know we're jumping all over the place right now, but hey, what the hell?
No, it's fine.
Contact stone. So, yeah, woo. But I didn't finish. We could follow up on this here right now, or keep in mind, we want to talk about RFK Jr. And is this now finally going to be the time and an occasion where the message gets through to Biden? Because RFK Jr. he's spending $1 million per month in maintaining his own private security detail.
Right.
Who knows? Why would he even want to necessarily have his own, state issued secret security when they if they're going to provide this sort of substandard, really seemingly inadequate protection. Yeah, this is.
And and for a guy who lost his father and uncle to assassins.
Eight times
Figure,
denied.
you know, yeah,
8 times denied now.
it's ridiculous. It's
So
absolutely, it is.
yeah,
That's
it's
why I look. I'm a conspiracy guy. I know a
that's
lot of
another
us
thing.
are, but this is beyond conspiracy, folks. This is
Ah,
right now. It's looking more and more as it is an inside job. They're setting up because they know they cannot win. They started here, and somehow this person is
okay.
allowed to come in into a rally and do what he did. And I fear not only for Trump, I fear for RFK Jr. I fear for anybody who is against their narrative.
Do you know? Yeah, well, that's the way it always is. You know, what did Voltaire tell us back in the day? You're familiar with the name Voltaire?
I am familiar, but tell the audience.
Oh well, just there's not much more I can say other than the famous French
Mm-hmm.
political philosopher. Speaking of Freemasons, so among other things, but it's dangerous to be right. It's dangerous to be right when the government is wrong.
Correct.
That was his little succinct, pearl of wisdom, one of many that he had to produce over the years. But oh God, this is the thing with all over the place here now. When I become stimulated, as it were, intellectually stimulated, that well, that there was there's a few other items I wanted to follow up on here on a related in a related vein, as it were, in a related note or what have you. But yeah, this is may you live in interesting times. Oh, so here's the thing. This is the way it usually works. If I have a bit of a memory brain freeze, that it
a Biden moment. That's what we call it.
A Biden moment. Not quite. It's bad, but it's not that bad. Thank God.
Well,
it's
as we age, it happens.
Well, but even still, I mean, look at John Barber. John Barber, 91 years old. I don't know if you probably know who John Barber is. You might see him around from time. He was the godfather of reality television, is what some,
look at
title
William
that some
Shatner.
have anointed him with. But real people, right? Real people.
Yeah.
91 years
William
old.
Shatner.
He could dance circles. He could circles around Biden. He's 10 years older than the guy. He's 91. Yeah. Old popcorn fart. Biden. So the thing is that may you live in interesting times, Voltaire, and where we currently find ourselves. And bloody hell, you got me distracted again, Angel. This is the way you bastard.
Let me
inside the jackal's head, it's a dangerous and confusing place to be. I'll come back to it here momentarily.
Let me chime in for a second here, because it is inside the jackal's head, and it's very kooky and spooky place.
Oh God.
But I will say this, like we all have to understand. We live in the present. This is a gift from God, the Creator. That's what it's called, the present.
All there is, man.
And we have to live it day by day. Every moment that passes,
every breath we take.
Every time we look at the sunrise, just think this could be the last time you view that.
And it will be. It will be. One day it will be.
Yeah. Brandon Lee, one of my all-time favorite actors who passed away years ago, who did The Crow, in his final interview, he used that quote. He said that how many of us, reflect on the fact that the next time we see a sunrise, it could be the last one we see, and how many people actually do that, during our lifetime.
Yeah, wasn't Alex Baldwin on that? Alex Baldwin was on that set as well, wasn't he?
No, he was on Rust.
He's got practice makes perfect. That's hashtag too soon. Something. Yeah.
Heaps away is scot free from the charges. They're not gonna. He wasn't convicted.
Did you hear about that? It was dismissed.
Yeah.
Without prejudice. Was that the ruling? All this legalese. The maneuvering without. I think dismissed without prejudice was.
Which to me,
condition.
that whole thing is very awkward because he fired the gun. Now, I am sure he didn't do it on purpose to kill anybody. I'm not saying he did,
Ooh.
but it was a bad handling on a set. He is in
Right.
charge of the set.
Yeah. Well.
Not only
Yeah.
that, he was goofing around with the gun. He joked that, "Oh, I'm going to shoot you," and then he shoots and kills a person, and that's
Wow. That's so. There were
he
witnesses
lied
to that
about it.
too. That's
He
crazy.
lied about it because at first he said it was an accident and he shot, and then later on he said, "Well, I never pulled the trigger." Well, how does a gun shoot if you don't pull the trigger, there, Einstein? Right? So he lied
It
at that point.
misfired is what he was, I guess, trying to suggest. But let me just say one of the things that I've just I was going to say earlier, just to touch upon at least, and then maybe pass it back to you. Two things. One is that all of the conspiracy theories, it's a whole range, a whole host now regarding what we just saw take place in the last 24 hours approximately. I don't know what time is it back there. It's getting late. So there's been more than 24 hours. It's more than a day now. But I still just the magnitude to think, God Almighty, just what that would have set off and triggered. Was he part of any wider conspiracy or not? It's anybody's guess. We'll just leave that aside for the moment. Apparently, did you know he was part of I'm not sure because I was sending you links in Skype and you were kind of, I think we're reading about the Discord end of things, and also the fact that he was turned down from the school shooting team. He was rejected, as it were.
Yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that he was apparently he I don't know if it was part of his because he couldn't see worth a damn or what exactly, but apparently it said that they had him. It was quoted the news story as a comically terrible shot. So this is like Oswald almost all over again, where we're hearing that. I mean, where he's a target. Like he's so far off that, like, you got to ask yourself what's really going on here. And he was making some really off-color jokes as well. Very, very moribund, I think is the word, or bellicose, like where you could see like he was, because he endured a lot of bullying is what people that knew him, that they, were classmates that they said he hate. As you so often find these loner type individuals, that this is the sort of thing that can result, unfortunately, when you bully people and make them feel so terrible about themselves.
Let me jump in there real quick because you just touched on something. You just touched on something that is very important to my past. I was bullied as a kid. Heavily bullied. I was molested as a kid. Okay, there's a lot of things that I shared on the show and publicly I've talked about. And I've told you some stories of my past, in private, not a lot. But I was bullied heavily as a child. I went to an all-black school and I was Latino. And that fared very well in the mid '80s. I grew up partly in Compton, LA, and other times here in Miami, Florida, and very bad communities. Not because of the color of the skins, but because of the gang activity, the drug sales, the constant bullying. I could have been one of these active shooters who went crazy and did some
Anybody
crazy
could.
shit.
Anybody can.
But you know
Man.
what got me out of not doing it? My mother and father and the education I got from martial
Support
arts.
network. There we go.
Right.
Peers, or just the one person to make the difference, who says, "Hey, don't let those people get to you, man. All right, you're okay. Don't worry about it." And you know what's interesting? Hey, check this Crooks character, and they were going to get him by
You know
hook
what
or
did
by
it for
crook.
me though?
What's that?
It was listening to, and I'll let you continue.
Sure.
It was just listening to the philosophies of Bruce Lee as a kid.
Oh, wow.
That's what got me into martial arts.
There you
Because
go.
I am of Asian background as well, part Asian, and I always had that, love for the Asian culture and martial arts movies. And when I discovered Bruce Lee as a small child, that saved me from going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay.
Math and science, great. And I know there's been a few people. You're not the only one where Bruce Lee has been such a positive influence on and a real hero to many. Just as Trump has been a hero to many and very empowering and a benefit. I mean, he's there as the father figure to the nation. Father figure to the nation. That's what these leaders, by default, that's the role that they play. Like it or not, folks. And if it's a female, then similar. The motherly protector and overseer. But this young man, Crooks, excelled. I guess I was just learned about this morning before going live here, math and science. So if only someone would have given him a little more time of time a day.
Self-time. That's the thing, because I had a support structure which he didn't have, but at the same time we cannot always blame the lack of. That's what happened with the Columbine kids. Remember them?
Yeah,
it was a group of them that did this. I didn't have a group of friends when I was growing up, and I didn't turn out to be like them. Yeah, I wish I had 3 or 4 or 5 friends I could count on when I was a kid. I was a loner.
Well, so was this guy apparently. So, but and let me just say, Robert Morningstar predicted this. We were just talking about this, okay? We were just talking about this. And by the way, I do appear, as you well know, but your listeners probably do not. We want to give a plug, to the fact as we wind down here in just the next couple of minutes, presumably, that I will be continuing to appear, hopefully, as a co-host alongside Robert in the last hour of his Monday evening show. 11 p.m. is when I drop in after I wrap up my ELF gig. Local. I got this adults.
Same as here. So how'd you goof up today and call me in the first hour?
Well, no, because you told.
Lost you there.
I had a loose jack. Probably.
Yeah, on the jackal's head.
Let's see if we can reconnect.
There we go. I got a lot of things that are
good.
wrong with me. I'm loose.
It's funny you have a loose jack on the Jackal's Head show.
Yeah. Okay.
But shout out to Robert Morningstar. He's a friend of mine in the show. Awesome guy.
Sure. Yeah, Morningstar Report. It's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm on for the last hour. But he runs his show. I think it kicks off an hour prior to that. As a whole host of great guests on. I think it's twice a week where he puts some feature event together. I'm just on one time in the last hour, Monday night, once again, courtesy of Revolution Radio. So there we go. But what he said, what he predicted, what we were talking about was this whole business of a potential assassination, some major event that why is the name going to escape me now? Bloody hell. Here we go. Biden's not the only one who needs to be taking some, dementia and Parkinson's medication. Obviously.
Nancy Pelosi?
Well, no.
She needs a straight jacket in a padded room. That crazy woman.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really colorful characters at the top of every power pyramid.
Waters.
Around the world. It doesn't change, man. It's like typically we find, you got to be really leery of anyone who is drawn to power, anyone, including Trump, as much as I hate to say it, and as much as maybe you hate to hear it or your listeners do.
No, it's a fact. It's a fact. That's why I brought that up on your show with the guest you had on. Where it doesn't matter what you change, when you have a power structure, somebody's going to want to lead the way, and you're going to end up back where you were before you created the mess to get to a different area, and then you still end up back in the same place.
What guest are you talking about?
It was on a show we recently did with Well, I think the name is Chris.
Okay.
Yeah. He was on the last thing podcast you did. I don't even remember your own people.
Well,
Roger was there.
oh, you're talking about Do Better,
Chris.
Do
Right.
Gooder,
Yeah.
Chris off of Mines out of Atlanta. Yeah. See, the thing is, you got to
Yeah.
drop in and connect with us via minds.com and the Matrix chat, which is a lot like the Skype out way that we have things up and running. And, only it's off of a different platform and easily accessible. So, and a lot of fun as well.
Yep.
Great quality people. We like to think there's not too many loose cannons, as Captain Long John Sinclair so often describes them. But
I thought he was
Morningstar,
going to join you, by the way, Sinclair.
pardon me.
I thought the captain was going to join this morning.
Actually,
Sinclair.
not well, no. But one thing that's great about him is he does let me use his Skype account, especially now since that mine was, it's been completely scuttled.
We'll leave it at that. It's a Microsoft scuttled. Penis issue. We'll leave it at that.
Microsoft, Yahoo email, and the fuckers won't let me access my either account now. So it's totally hooped. One complimentary F-bomb per show, Angel. What do you reckon?
Oh, you gotta have a couple on this one.
Oh, okay.
You're good. But you getting back to Morningstar because
I got to finish that point. Yeah. Let's
get. I want you to lose track. It's too easy.
Keep me on track. That's the thing, exactly. Because like I said, I got a million things going on at the same time, and I don't write anything down. It's a bad habit.
The blind leading the blind here. I'm gonna keep you on track. Go for it.
Yeah, thank you. So he predicted it, but what he said, and because I was talking about how I picked up on this. It was like a trial balloon. You've heard the term trial balloon, probably. The way they float these things and then look for the public reaction to see what it's like, then and turn decide whether they're going to pursue a certain course of action or not, right? So what they did was they said, oh yeah, like it's I bet it looks like there's a good chance Trump's going to try to kill Biden and so that he can win. That was what they're trying to promote on
right.
YouTube was where I saw it, and you can bet that there's others out there that were running with that whole idea, when in fact what Morningstar on the face of things, it was utterly absurd, of course, because give me a break. I mean, Biden's killing himself right now. He doesn't. If Trump wants him alive, he doesn't want
that
him.
Makes more sense why he want Trump dead, because he's killing himself. He's like, what am I going to do? We put him in jail. We took mug shots. We give him all these things. He says,
that's right.
Get rid of the guy. Murder's the next case.
But the twist to it all that Robert that he brought up, it was really brilliant. The insight, they're going to blame it on a Republican, basically, someone that's sort of like disenchanted MAGA or like a registered Republican. You know how that came about so quickly, although it was leaked that, and you read this just during the earlier hour that you live streamed, that was 15 pounds. I don't know why I keep seeing this 15-pound thing, that they're it must be like a British source. The Americas can't report on its own news. They have to do it in a roundabout way, from MI5 to 6 and other Five Eyes entities.
Right.
But yeah, it was like $20 or something like that. And it was because first I heard Antifa. So, but it just goes to show. So he's been almost like sheep dipped, I guess you could say, and was he really Republican? And why then is he donating to as radical, and a Chicago base too, I think, was it not? Or as radical, it's a token.
Well, let's be fair for a second, Japhy. Look, both sides have their own thing. There's Act Blue for the left, and there's Red campaign also for the right, and they generate money for their constituents. This happens on both ends. Okay, so this is nothing new. But the fact that the registered Republican didn't give to the red, but went and donated money to the blue, which went directly to Joe Biden, that's the concern here.
Oh,
Because
radical is a radical grassroots. Like they said, Antifa to begin with is what we were hearing. How accurate that was. I'm not. They say progressive too. That's something we got to change. We got to stop it, people. They're not. They're regressive. Okay, so stop. Why is it that we just parrot and repeat this without really thinking at all? And it's because we've been programmed. We don't apply critical thinking to what is taking place in the world, and that the way that the powers that be, media in particular, doing what they can to influence and shape, impact our minds. The word government itself, what does it mean? Mind control. Break it down. It's the etymology from the Latin gubermente, mind control. Who controls our minds, folks? My body, my choice. How about my mind, my choice? And that's where it makes me really concerned. You got things like the Space Force, Wi-Fi, and entering the picture, and then you have voice to skull technology, which I'm sure you're more than aware of, as many of your listeners, hopefully at this stage, already are. But the fact is, that not only are we transmitters, but we're also receivers. And it's the point now where you got Bill Gates and others, they're probably already doing it covertly, but they're wanting to tap into us not only tax us because of our carbon emissions, but also draw upon the energy that we produce and generate. It's just incredible. This it's a faux singularity agenda that's really hashtag technocracken, folks. Get that hashtag technocrack. What come on, technocracken.
Let me stop you there, because there's a term in ufology for dealing with aliens that might be out there using us for energy, called
You're
energy
interested in that
vampires.
area of study? I had no idea.
Yeah, no clue on that.
UFOs.
But they're considered energy vampires, where they feed off our energy. And what we're talking about here is a technological feeding of our energy, right? And it's not that far off from what could be happening on a massive scale in space. We don't know what's happening out there. We only know what we're told, and I don't trust what we're told by anybody,
No,
including SpaceX. I don't trust anybody. If I can't see it with my little eyes over here, I'm not trusting you, because we've been lied to from the flat Earth to the current state of what the universe looks like. Nothing is legit. Everything changes. Even when Captain Kirk went into space for real, he said, "You know what? It's a little different when you see it from this high up than you think."
Oh, right. Yeah, a 90th year kind of birthday present to himself, I guess, was it?
Right.
So
I wish I could do that.
Faux singularity. I'm not sure how much longer you want to carry on the conversation here. It'd be nice.
No, we're about to wind down here. I'll give you a little bit more time, because I wanted to get your point across here on we were trying to get to.
Well, and just with the faux singularity, that the Matrix, exactly what you're talking about, though. The Matrix, and that the may or ma, like mama, that you find that in Sanskrit, Korean, and English. Make, magic, even like music. Just it's a vowel change. Amusing. Although in Korean, it's interesting, the connection between the words, and this is what makes me think that there is a long hidden occulted history, as the late great Jim Mars, that was one of his last books, Our Occulted History. I don't have a copy. I've got a number of his other books, but that one I would love to, maybe one of your listeners tonight. And if they're not spending all of their hard-earned, money on offering you a little love in the Patreon department, they will they'll gift Japhy something here for his birthday. That's coming up in just how many days, Angel?
Well, right now it's the 15th, since we just hit midnight here in Florida.
Yeah, and we actually, we sort of just the way with the synchronicity of things. Cliff High, by the way, it came back to me. Cliff High pirate ether. We're supposed to get in touch with Cliff High, if only because of the pirate ether. So we did reach out to him. Today, though, is the day. And I'm not sure what impact our show is going to have, but today was the day, within the context of things, that he had prophesized through remote viewing that there would be some huge, major, dramatic incident. And I can't think of anything more dramatic than the past hour, you and I here, Angel. I mean, it has been a slow news day. I can't, there's not much else really.
No.
You and I here.
The only thing more dramatic I could think of is the BM I had earlier today. That was a different story, though.
That's sexual innuendo. I don't know what that stands for.
No, BM. Think hard.
Butt massage.
No, bowel move.
Close butt massage. Okay.
Close. It was from inside out instead of outside in.
We didn't talk too much pirate today, man, but maybe we can do a follow up here at some point in the future.
I have to follow up and circle back with you. I know it's a different time zone, so I'm going to wrap it up.
This works, though, man. Just like with Robert's show, or and you're now in our news on a. Like you're in the main Skype room, so we're calling you up let's give a quick plug here in case because most people probably don't know. Our times, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 out on the East Coast, every Tuesday with the news end of things. And that's, of course, 12 p.m. noon, Wednesdays here in South Korea. Now, the Friday night feature show end of things, we've got a lot of guests in the queue, a lot of show ideas, a lot of guests, but we're just kind of dialing things down this year. And the reason being mostly is because we're not getting all that much in the way of donations, frankly, via the wider listening world. So if now we recently had someone step up, Sonia Galactic. If you're out there listening, thank you so much. Can't say enough good things about you. That's one of the great things that you do get anytime you do help us out. We try to do what we can to, make it worth your while, whether it's Patreon support or PayPal support, rather, on-air promotion, or the in-house WPRPN subdomains, as we like to call them. Like, you got my Man Cave link. Hopefully you checked your email and got the Man Cave link, and it's basically what it is. Where you got a couple pictures, you have a bio synopsis overview, and your social media links. So, but with her putting these T-shirts together for us, the pirate T-shirts, just on her own free will and accord. It's not like we were holding a huge blunderbuss to the poor ladies had. And it that got us inspired, provide the kind of wind for our sails we needed to launch. Ironically, it was the election 2024 summer special edition that you were part of that roundtable just a couple days ago too, with Robert and a few others, including Chris out of Atlanta and Roger Hansen.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
There you go. So and it was you could feel something was in there's something in the air, definitely. And I've for the longest time been worried about, I could see in my mind's eyes, like, fucking, he's going to get his head blown off. He's going to get his head blown off. I could see it. Maybe you have too. I'm sure it's like, I'm praying for that not to happen. Just as Robert has been praying for Obama. He's not a huge Obama fan. He's not a huge Biden fan, but he's praying for them. And because he knows he's lived through the whole, the Kennedy assassinations and others, maybe probably MLK and Malcolm X. He knows the reverberations and the impact that these events have had on America. They are just horrific. It's horrific and incalculable. The impact,
and it tears the country apart. It really does.
So they all should be prayed. Even Pelosi and all these Muppets, as awful as they are.
We made a pray for Pelosi, but look, I don't want to see violence, and I stated that earlier on the show. We don't need violence. We need to win at the polls. We need to beat them and remove them from
Free and
office.
fair. Get rid of
No,
the phony rigged electronic voting
yeah,
machines, so-called voting machines. They can be hacked in under a minute
easily.
if you know what you're doing. Under a minute. What the hell, America? That's your freedom and democracy. Give me a break. And why there aren't more, other than Elon Musk, but he's not an elected official or running for political office. He's one of the high-profile people who is, however, speaking out against having this ridiculous, technology in place. Because, but what I mean, I think RFK's talked about it a little bit. Called it out. Rand Paul, and you need to. If you're not calling it out, there's a problem. So let's even now challenge Trump to do so, and Biden. If they're not, there's something really funny is going on.
Fundamentally
doesn't
is
make
wrong.
sense.
Jaffe, we're about 3 minutes to wrap up here. Once again, the link is WPRPN.com. That's your main website. It needs a little tweaking. I'm going to be honest. It needs a little tweaking.
We need technical help. We need, we're looking a shout out for creative minds, people in marketing, sales, you name it. And the thing is, once again, hashtag WWRHD. Do you know what that stands for, Angel?
Enlighten me.
What would Robin Hood do?
Right.
We sail out upon these high, often all too intrepid digital seas upon, it is the good ship. It has been christened the Robin Hood flagship.
Pirate, though?
Close enough, man. And it close enough. It works for us, so the Green Man. And it's just, it's all the branding. It's all the branding. So come on. So, and it's a very, he's such an archetypal figure. Just powerful stuff. So check out our merch. Remember, half of everything that we do manage to generate goes directly back to charity. We've challenged you in the past to follow suit. Alex Jones, Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, Candace Owens, like any of these big Stephen, Crowder. Who else can we name? Red Ice Creations, all these. Art Bell, but he's no longer. We would if he was still with us.
Yeah,
Art,
yeah.
Bloody get your game together, Mr. Bell, and
for a guy who's dealing with the paranormal, he really hasn't come back from the land of the dead and said, guys, it's actually pretty cool out here. Can't wait for all these to join.
He's much happier where he is now. They have tried to do.
I believe it. The
spirit board technology, and I'm not sure what that is exactly, but tried to channel his essence, but it's long gone. So
with that, we have only under a minute here before we got to get going. So Japhy, thank you for joining me.
It's been a blast.
I know you've been a gentleman by joining here, and I love the fact that I finally got to see you in person, live and full flesh. Look at that. He is not a crook. That's going to be the show caption right there, the heart. There you go. Good man.
Whatever you like.
We got to have this back on, from time to time. So we got to have you on, in the near future.
I can make it at this time.
You know me. Whenever you need me for your show, just call me up.
You're welcome there at the regular time we have it. 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 on the East Coast, every Tuesday night. The Friday night end of things, and late night in Korea, every second week, maybe. If we get the sponsorship, pledging people, public, people out there, fans of the show, pledging their support, we're all in. We'll step up and make it happen. So send us your show suggestions and guest ideas, pirate1radio@protonmail.com, folks. That'll make it happen.
Excellent work, my friend. Thank you so much again for being here, and everybody listening in on the audio. Make sure you check out the Jackal's Head on YouTube later on tonight. It's going to be posted, the video on there, and leave all your comments on YouTube and everywhere else where this video gets posted. Of course, angelespino.com is my website for all the content that I post on there. This will be on SoundCloud, and it'll be embedded into the link right on there within a matter of minutes. Okay, folks? Inside the Jackal's Head, and this is very important, InsideTheJackalsHead.blogspot.com is the main show page for the Inside the Jackal's Head. Remember, angelespino.com is my personal site, but the archive will be on both for your listening pleasure and for your visual a little bit later. But again, everybody listening, and thank you so much for joining us. And we will catch you later on in the near future. Next week, we have another big show. And for my guest, Japhy Ryder here, it's been a blast having you on for a full hour and 20 plus minutes here. Thank you for your time. And I will catch you on your show and on Robert Morningstar's.
Tally ho.
Keep sailing the seas, my pirate friend.
That's the
Catch you on
plan.
the flip side. Everybody, take care of yourselves. Be live, be well, and remember, tally ho.
Motorboat? You play the motorboat?